What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Savage Land. Welcome back to another episode of
G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe.
And for one time, can we get a Cobra? And today on G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe, I just want to talk about the reveals that were showed at MCM London, which is basically United Kingdom's Comic-Con, and just briefly go over them and briefly go over to the pre-orders that happened in the last couple of days. Now, at MCM, they showed off some figures and they showed off some digital renders. Pretty much, let's go over the pre-orders that's coming up that they showed off. Now, we all know Nemesis Immortal or Nemesis Enforcer was coming up for pre-order on Monday, which I'm doing this on Tuesday. He's already been up, which was a surprise to me is that he was already ready to go. He really wasn't a pre-order. Shout out to Chris, Big Chris, North Carolina window cleaning. Hold it down, brother. He grabbed one for me just in case I couldn't get one because he has the Hasboro Pulse exclusive, you know, like the little membership. I don't have it. I order from Hasbro Pulse, but not enough, I think, warranted for me to grab one. Maybe I'll grab one day. I just don't think it's for me. But appreciate you, Chris. He grabbed me one, and then I went up at, I believe it was 2 o'clock when the regular people could go up, and he was still available. When I looked down, I was going to pre-order him, but I was like, oh, he's already ready to go. Because really, be honest with you, I didn't really want to spend on him just yet, but I definitely going to tighten up my man Chris on that. So I just laid off, and I was like, yo, if he's up later on, maybe I'll get a second. But as far as Cobra lives, things of that nature, I might not even open him up because I didn't open up my Once a Man Cobra Commander, which shout out to Chris again. He had grabbed one for me. So figure looks good. Really not my cup of tea, but as a hardcore collector, I don't mind having him mint on card. I'm just debating whether I should open him up or not. But maybe he'll pop back up again. But as far as what I've seen, he was up there pretty much all day. It wasn't like a quick sellout. You had enough time to get him, but he sold out now. So hopefully he'll pop back up on the Nemesis Immortal. All right, so also what went up today is my man Heavy Duty. Once again, the pictures that I'm using are from my man Stevo8080 on Instagram. I mess with you the long way, my brother. Shout out to you, man. You always got the pictures up. You my go-to. Everybody got their little go-to guys. Stevo8080 on Instagram. Hit him up. That is my guy. He hit me this morning and was just showing off some more pictures of Heavy Duty. And he said he probably could possibly be the rock star in this wave. I like Heavy Duty. I never was in love with the contraption. They have done it better where you can break it down. He can put the missiles on each shoulder. Far as the character himself, I like him. I just don't know if he could be a rock star yet. I just have to see him physically in hand. He's not a bad looking figure. I know they wanted to go with a retro look, giving him a flat top like it's 91, 92, but that brother would have really looked good with a low light fade or a Caesar. But I think he's more in the realm of having a fade, but you know, the laptop probably will grow on me. Another thing I noticed too, he has like the same missiles as Metalhead. Looks like they can sit inside of the actual shooter. I don't think Metalheads could. I think he just had to have the attachments on, and that was it. Looked like I don't know, like it was kind of big, like just sit in there. But as far as that contraption, I'm not a huge fan of that, but they have updated it, and I think it looks good for classified in an updated version, and it looks like you can break it down. They gave him a bull chain. He's from Chicago, so I guess that's an ode to like the Chicago Bulls, so that's pretty dope. Got the cut-off sleeves, the fatigues. Really not in love with the price of $35, but I guess with that contraption, that's the same thing Metalhead was. I would say kind of be patient on this. I think everybody's in love with not Metalhead. Everybody's in love with Heavy Duty, but I'm not too sure if they really did jump at him for that price. So he might go on sale just like Metalhead did. Metalhead, you can probably get him for $23. I know some people probably got him for even cheaper. I went on and pre-ordered him. He's pretty much a fan channel. I think he's supposed to be due out next year, sometime in like September. So we'll see what's up with Heavy Duty. I just like there's another brother in the line. He has 2 different head sculpts, has plenty of accessories. I think the biggest thing about him is with that $35 price is that big contraption, that Heavy Duty gun contraption on him, man. So we'll see what's up, man. But I definitely ordered him up. As far as digital renders, they showed off Blowtorch. Not a huge fan of Blowtorch, but he looks pretty good. He's got the ketchup and mustard colors. They gave him the same flame effects as Torch. Looks like he has a flamethrower with a backpack. I think that mimics barbecue. Mostly, like I said, in a condiment color. So they probably should have called him ketchup and mustard. But there's fans of Blowtorch who's been waiting on him for a minute, but they definitely had the digital render up. He looks pretty good. Of course, he'll be out sometime next year. A lot of these figures that's coming out, they're saying like they do like September, October. I really haven't seen anything coming up for like February, March. Or the beginning of the year. Maybe some older releases that came out and some waves that haven't dropped yet, but these figures are showing, looks like they're coming like middle of the year, later of the year. The rock star of the bunch, I truly think, is this Frag Viper with this big like metallized helmet, got the blue and orange colorway. Looks pretty good, man. He has kind of like, it's like a game, like an overseas game where they like throw. Maybe that was like an old indigenous game with Indians where you could throw like a little ball out of kind of like a hook contraption, but that's his like little effect that he has. I think he looks pretty dope. I actually like him. I think that figure right there is truly a rock star, and I think what sets it off more is that he's got that blue and orange color like of Alley Viper or blue and red, but it's just that silverish platinum looking metal helmet that he has on that pretty much sets him off, man. So I think he's pretty dope. Once again, another figure that's going to come out a little bit later on in the year 2025. Now, as far as digital renders, as far as retro card, they have a Techno Viper that's coming out without the trouble bubble and traditional roll-up sleeves. For all my traditional guys out there, I think that's pretty cool. For the most of us, we grab the ones with the trouble bubble. So a lot of people will probably be getting this to have a mint on card, Techno Viper, or just to have a leader for your squad, which that is the route I'm falling in with this. I'm going to get one for mint on card, and then I'm going to have one for a leader of my squad. The last two digital renders that we're going to talk about is ones that we were patiently waiting on. The first one is the blonde hair cover girl. Now, I believe this is the first version of CoverGirl with the blonde, longer hair. I think it's pretty dope. Like I said before, I never really had a problem with CoverGirl's body. I think they kind of got that to where it needs to be. It's the head sculpt, which they owe us one. They owe us another head sculpt on this. She's supposed to be a model, but she looked more like a pill head with the first one coming in with the sunken in cheeks. I did not like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Interested on how that's going to look. They really didn't show off a digital render. All they showed off was cartoon like images of her. So if they're trying to get close to that, I think they're moving in the right direction. Last but not least, something we all were waiting on, something I thought that they were going to do with the Tiger Force Flint, but you know how they do. They market tool us to death. Retro Flint. We deserve one. The other Flint is cool. He was cool for his time. He made me jump on him like, ooh, Flint. Because he looked a little bit more like Flint than the newer Duke that they put out back in who knows when, 2-3 years ago when that dropped. Still has a great body, still is a great figure, but of course, once this retro Flint comes, that other one will play second fiddle. You could still play him off as Flint, or just play him off as another guy in your G.I. Joe classified line. But definitely looking forward to that. I think everybody will be grabbing one of those, like how they did the retro Duke and Scarlet, because that kind of trio right there, they deserve to be put in a retro spec, to be quite honest with you, man. And I'm definitely looking forward to Flint. Can't wait to see how he looks. We deserve it. Last but not least, let's talk about, I think, a sleeper rock star. Almost kind of like the Twilight Guard I'm thinking this figure is going to be. We're going to talk about the Trench Viper, which was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, which went up for pre-order today, and it kind of fell in the realm of the price point I was looking for. Maybe $4 cheaper, but it's in the $50 price range. $54.99, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, should be due out September 1st, 2025. They gave some more exclusive looks at him as far as his digital camo. I think he looks good. He has the Alley Viper mask. So that's basically what this figure is, with some switched up boots. I love the Alley Viper. Hate the kind of like umpire shin guard that it came with. So switching up the boots is able for this figure to walk a little bit better, to stand a little bit better. And I love that he has like the radar eye on his face guard. Dope looking figure. The playset is cool. It's not spectacular, marvelous, or anything like that, but for the price point, with the Cobra stamp, the Hasbro stamp on there, I can deal with that. I ordered 3 of them. They only have a limit of 3 you can order, but you can go back in and order a set of another 3. It gives you options basically, and it's cool. It comes with plenty of figure fodder like the sandbag. So as more you stack those boxes up, the more sandbags you get, the more ladders you get. And I finally found out what those baluster beams are for. It's basically for the spotlight, and it's basically for the machine gun. That's what holds it up inside of the bunker, and that's what holds up the spotlight on top or outside or whatever you want to do. I thought it was some type of guard, like how you have at the gas station from hitting like a certain object, but no, it's basically poles to hold up your equipment there. Looks pretty dope. I'm in love with the camo. I'm in love with this idea, period, man. I think it's coming in at a decent price range at about around 50 bucks. So if you want one, you want three, you want 10, it's not going to kill you. Be honest with you, if you bought 10 of them, it'll be $540. And from the way they stack, you can stack them up in a slim tower. You can stack them up in a wall. It's really what you want to do. I don't need a crazy amount of these because I put together dioramas myself, and I'm eventually getting into cutting foam and doing that myself. But as far as some in-between, officially stamped pieces that's built for Cobra, I think they're cool. I think they're at a price range that's feasible. To be honest with you, if you got it from a digital printer, he'd probably charge you about the same thing or a little bit more to make these little cubicles that they got going on. I think this is a dope figure. I think this might be a sleeper figure like the Twilight Guard. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the Alley Viper, pretty much with new boots, new feet, so he can move around, do what he needs to do. I think this was a great hit. It's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Due out in September, man. So, it has some great pictures on here. The guys who shoot the G.I. Joe pictures for Hasbro, man, they really know how to sell a figure. Has a gun rack on the inside. It's just a cool concept, a cool thing to just kind of start the entry level of playsets. Makes me wonder, will they try for a playset for a HasLab, or will they try to go with a vehicle this year? Or are they ready for that? I don't know. We'll see, man. But this is a great start here. You get a really nice figure. And then, so you're looking at $25.25 or $27.27. $27 for your Alley Viper and $27 for the cubicle with 2 ladders, sandbag. You get a 50 caliber machine gun. You get a satellite, and you get a spotlight. I think that's cool. I think that's cool all day. But I'm going to leave it at that. This week's episode of G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe. Nemesis Immortal came up. Heavy Duty came up. Trench Viper came up. All good pre-orders and releases. All good digital renders. Frag Viper, I think, is the rock star of this group. Blowtorch is for your more traditionalist guys. And the digital renders for the retro, I think all of those will get brought by somebody who's looking for them. And then one of them, or at least 2 of them, we all were looking for. Basically a redo. But tell me what you think. This is the Savage Land. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up on my Instagram at Geppetto910. And with that being said, until the next time, Cobra! God bless.